Yeah, I came here to talk about the Creative Jam, which is a 1 week creative making event. You guys all know what game jams are, so it's basically a 1 week game jam. Um, so this jam starts on March 13th. It is just like a jam. You come in, there's a theme, there's some brainstorming, and then you guys work on your project for a week. So the format is going to be very similar to the Global Game Jam format, right? Where we are doing team forming. If you so want to, you can request that in the forum. We'll do match people with teams, and then on the March 13th, the event starts. This jam is a little different because it's not really just a game jam; it's a creative jam, and we actually are we're open to any kind of creative submission. So, yeah, you can make a video game. You also could make a 3D model. You could do something more like a writing project or uh, a video film. So, we're very open to what you want to do. Yes, some of you guys are already have gone into teams, right? And you guys are making a team for the semester, or you're already working on a long-term project, as am I, right? I have a game I'm working on my own in. And I would say still consider this event, uh, mainly because, even if you have a longer-term project or something that you're doing already, you never know, if it's going to finish, you don't know what the outcome is going to be like. So this is still an opportunity to create something now, and also to experiment a little bit, and prototype outside of your main project, which then you could, whatever you learn, for one, that's an extra thing you can add to your portfolio, or um, if you're prototyping some kind of new idea, it might actually help out your longer term project. So what I'm saying is, take advantage of this. It's 1 week, so it's not as intense as a 40-hour jam. So you can like work on your project 2 hours a day, right? And then get something done. You know. Um. Yeah. We are connecting out to different clubs and majors, so it's not just going to be people in game dev club. It's going to be people in the digital media art program, other clubs, the Cadre Club, the Seagraph Club, and more. So, are there any questions? I do have a link I'll be posting. Boom, boom, boom. Where's my? Oh, I don't need to post a link. So the link is in the announcements channel. So if you scroll up, you can find there is a link. And if you have any questions later, you can contact me or James. Alrighty, well, thank you. Um, that's all for me, Edward.
Oh, okay. So we actually, I guess a little bit about what we're doing tonight. We actually have a pretty decent amount of people who want to showcase something. So that means we're gonna have to make sure there's a little bit of time constraints so that everyone can like kind of get through what they want to talk about. I would say try to keep whatever you're talking about like short and sweet. I'd say maybe no more than 10 minutes. Um, there are about, I'm trying to still confirm how many of these are duplicate submissions, but I would say there are roughly maybe like 10-ish people who want to showcase tonight. Um, just a heads up, this is like really a chill thing, so I hope you guys aren't too like anxious about this whole process. It's literally just talk about whatever's on your minds. A lot of you guys are newly developed groups from like last week, so obviously it's not like a big expectation that you have a whole lot created within the span of a week. We're just really just doing this as a service to see what it is you guys are thinking about right now. Um, get maybe some feedback and see like does that excite a lot of people in the room, stuff like that. And it's really just a chill. It should be a chill night. You guys should have fun. So don't be anxious about it. And with that being said, I think we can start getting the ball rolling. starting with, I think our first presenter is Cole.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, how do I? Uh, okay, I will share my screen. Okay, do you guys see my game?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't exit out full screen, so it's kind of awkward. All right. Hi everyone. This is my game, or rather simulator. I changed the name to Wave Simulator. Um, it's a game about waving, and that's pretty much it, right? This is my main menu. You kind of volume and you can change the theme. I was pretty proud of this. So the controls are pretty basic. It does have controller support, which I don't have a controller with me, but that's fine. Yeah, so basically the controls are you move around and then you can wave at people by pressing a button. Okay, I'm gonna press play. Oh, this is I'm pretty proud of this too. You can choose your character, be the blue character, the guy. All right, and then here I am. I've now loaded into the world simulation. Yeah, we got character animation, as you can see. I'm walking around just like a normal day. Yo, yo, what's up? So you can go to people, you can approach people, and because everyone here is friendly and you're really awesome too, you can wave at people and they wave at you back. Oh. Um, and then you can see their emotion. Uh, See, I'm not waving at her, so she can't even see me. And oh, there we go. But so sometimes you can you could make people mad if you're, or sometimes if you kind of do a short wave, they're just like awkward and like, why are you waving? So he's like, why are you waving at me? So I kind of wanted to try to like break down the anatomy of a wave. You know, like, can I make this into a fun game mechanic? Which I found was harder than I thought. Was basically you can wave too short. So if you kind of barely wave at someone, they see it as kind of awkward. So you got that kind of like awkward face. Uh, there's also like if I wave, but then I just keep on waving, they get kind of mad. And each of these AI, they have like their own personality. Like I made charts for, like it's not random. I'll explain what's not random, but um, they all have their own personality, which affects like how shy or extroverted they are. So, for instance, there's like a sweet spot you have to get, basically. And so what is short, what is waving too short and waving too long is different among all the agents. But I ended up finding out that it was just kind of a really subtle difference. It doesn't matter that much. You know, that's a bug. Yeah, that's kind of core mechanic of the simulation that I have. And I found that I've had a lot of people test this game, and they're always really confused when they play because it's kind of a weird game, I guess, and where you have to kind of like be patient. You can't just like press a button and get a action. Like if I just press wave, people are just like really weird. Um, which I also found like even a short wave in real life, I guess would be normal, but it's not really normal in this game. So you kind of have to like figure out what is normal. And I guess that was like my main goal with this game was like, can I make an experience about like trying to fit in and do some kind of group, you know, like what's normal for all these people? How do I fit in? That was kind of main goal of this project. And yeah, what else can I say? It didn't turn out as fun as I thought I would. But I guess that happens, you know. But this was a interesting project, I would say at the least, and I did learn a lot about Unity and more about programming. That is a bug. Yeah. Are there any questions?
Yo, I don't have any questions, but I have a comment.
Yeah, yeah.
So one thing I noticed is it's kind of lonely, right? And you're like waiting for people.
Yeah.
So it would be cool if you like hit the spot, like hit the right spot or like the timing. Then maybe they follow you around. You know, like you made a friend.
Yeah, that's no, that's an interesting point you made up. Like if you wave at someone and then you yeah, you do the timing really right, or like you're just kind of really cool. They kind of follow you around a little bit. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. That was actually kind of one of my original ideas. I just never got to it. But
Did you make the buildings?
no, so all these assets I've gotten online. The buildings are paid assets that I got in a humble bundle. And these characters are from Maximo, as well as the animation. I actually was originally going to do a 2D game, but then I was like, animation takes too long, and Maximo gives out free 3D animations, so these are way better than anything I could draw, and so yeah, actually I went to 2D or 3D, and it was
Looks really
faster to
good.
develop.
So, Cole, did you consider first person point of view?
No, because this was the other thing is like when you kind of wave at someone, again I was like trying to break down the wave, so you kind of have to read. You end up reading like someone's like body language as well and their facial expression. You can kind of tell if someone's awkward or comfortable. You know what I mean? And with these models, their faces are totally blank. So I was like, I need to abstract this. I need to like create like a simplified model that is fun. That was my goal with this whole game. Was kind of make waving at other people fun. And so I decided to go top down view, right? Because then I'm not relying on like body posture or facial expressions. I can create different models. So that's why I have the emoji, right? Then you kind of get a quick understanding of their like internal emotion. I could have gone further too with animation as well. Right now, what I found is people still kind of confused on like what they do because the goals of the game weren't very clear. One thing I'll be doing is adding sound, so I'm working with a sound designer, and so these different stages of a wave will be kind of reinforced with sound effects.
So, what would you say you want the angle to be? So, like, is it gonna be time based, like get as much positive reactions going per level or something like that, or no?
Yeah, it's like what the goal of the game is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you get these the 100, so basically you don't wave too long and you don't wave too last. So yeah, it is all timing, and then you get points. Which I found it's kind of hard to make difficult.
Well, when you said like sometimes when you do wave at a person, it's not always appreciated, I immediately thought back to a quote from Mitch Hedberg about it's very dangerous to wave to people you don't know because what if they don't have hands? They'll think you're cocky. And I'm just died internally a little bit. So I like you say you want to talk about reactions. Well, maybe consider just like you pissed off someone and then like the player gets knocked down for a little bit or something like that?
Yeah, or like this, well, having a penalty for like being kind of rude or even awkward, right?
Yeah, because the
Mhm.
one thing that I'm not seeing in the story that would make it a bit more enjoyable and kind of like is the lack of conflict or any negative implications.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, then there's not really there is no really conflict at heart right now, and I think that's why I started calling it just simulator.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So, right now I only see that like only if you go around waving, people wave back to you. Is there like the opposite of where a random AI may try to come and wave at you, and you have to like respond to them?
So like you see this, he's not responding to me because he can't see me. um, and so I have that's actually the only condition. So the only time the only time someone won't wave at you is if they can't see you, or you're out of range, or you just waved at them. So like if I wave at this person, she's like, "Why are you waving at me?"
Oh no, that's not what I'm getting at. I'm asking
Okay.
if like the AI, if they're near you, will they just randomly try to wave at you and then have you sort of like respond back to them? Because
No,
like
that's a good idea though.
yeah, like waving goes both ways, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you're right. That's not a bad idea.
I love the thought that you actually put logic in this about like, oh, a player has a NPC has its back turned to me, it can't see me waving. Where I've seen games where it's just like you do something like that and the NPC like reacts as if it saw you, and it's like what? But like going off of what was just said about NPCs coming up to wave at you, you there's a way you can make it a bit more competitive if you decide to go a two-player route and to see like who can get the most happy reactions from waving at people within like a 2-minute kind of thing.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I haven't been keeping track of time, but I don't want to go on too long. But
I think we'll have to move on. We got a lot of groups,
Okay.
surprisingly. So,
got it. That's
thanks,
possible.
Cole.
Yep.
Clap, 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 clap.
Clap, clap, clap.
Thanks, everyone.
Nice job, Cole.
Yeah, thank you.
So, our next presenter should be Mr. Rafa.
Hello, hello.
Yes, the floor is yours, my sir.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone. I hope you all have a great week so far. I'm gonna present to you my game and development Sumo Time. Please let me know if you can see a screen. Can you see this?
I'll get it.
Can you see a black screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it. Okay, so this is a local multiplayer game that was heavily inspired in Fall Guys. It's gonna be local and multiplayer through the internet. So I'm gonna present to you all Sumo. Hello.
Whoa.
He has an active rigid body, so he reacts to the elements in the background. He can move around. He can jump. He can interact with the platforms like this. And he can, of course, fall and die. So this game isn't... Oh, he got stuck. Oh no. Okay. So right now I have two PlayStation 4 controllers here. So I'm going to bring in the second player. As you can see, the split screen is set up. And this game is going to be about the mechanic of pushing other sumos around. The objective is to have various minigames in which you push them around like this. It's a bit buggy. It's a work in progress. But this is like the general concept. You're supposed to push other people around and be the last one alive on the map. So I'm thinking of making various mini games around this mechanic. One, for example, would be King of the Hill. So the one that stands in the hill the most would be the one to survive. And you can do many things with your sumo. You can make him move around, dance, jump around. And yeah, this is pretty much the core mechanic I'm working on right now. It's local multiplayer, but I'm aiming to make like in the future with maybe getting more people to work in it, maybe with me, and making it maybe one day a final release. That would be the main aim of the game. And yeah, this is what I've got so far for Sumo Time.
Cool.
Thank you. Are there any questions, comments, suggestions, ideas? Everything is very much appreciated.
What's the liquid underneath them?
That's supposed to be green toxic slime that just kills you when you fall. So you respawn, but you sometimes get stuck. And these sumos are supposed to be made out of jelly or gummy, and the game is going to be running around that concept, like candy, gummies, jellies, and using like this active ragdoll physics. So there are no animations for this model. Everything is procedurally done on the run, using groups of forces. And the way is they react with physics. Like each arm has little rigid bodies that move with the physics that are applied to them, and that's how you can see the sumos run around. Then you can add a force up to make them jump, and that's essentially how it works.
Yeah, the run animation looks really good.
Thank you.
How did you,
So I know this is still a work in progress, but I just want to get a quick comment on like the physics. Are they meant to slide it around as much? Because the way I'm seeing it, kind of the traction is kind of lacking. It appears that they're running around on ice, which would make sense about like the slipperiness that I am perceiving.
Yeah, that's actually kind of intended, because if you were to have complete friction on the ground, there wouldn't be much playroom for you to push other players around. For example, if I didn't have this push force, let's make both collide using both controllers. So since the ground is a little bit icy, can you see how I react a little bit? If it were not like this, you would just be able to keep your position at all times. So there needs to be like some wiggle room for the skill of the player to come in play when trying to push others. So I made that intentional, but I think it's a little too low right now. But yeah, I'll totally look into that.
Oh, oops,
No, go ahead.
I thought you were done.
No, my bad.
Yeah. So how did you manage implementing the multiplayer aspect, being able to replicate the two players, even in a new environment?
Yeah, so Unity's new input system allows you to have many players. They have a new like component that allows you to do split screen, and then the split screen manager is just in charge of spawning players and assigning controllers and controls to them. It took me like 2 to 3 weeks to figure out the new input system. It's a little bit on its beta stage 2, but it works pretty well so far for split screen and local multiplayer.
Would you say coding or implementing the multiplayer aspect is difficult or somewhat easy to grasp?
There's not much documentation so far about it. There are various tutorials, but sometimes it's hard. But if you know someone who knows, like, if you need help or anything, I'm totally down to help anyone. If anyone needs help for like a local multiplayer on split screen, that is a very helpful tool, or looking into forums or Discord, because I didn't find that much documentation in terms of this new input system so far. So it was a bit of a struggle, but when you get it to work, it works pretty flawlessly from there on.
Alrighty.
I really like this idea of physical control, like it's sumos. Really nice with the theme.
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
What are some other elements you're planning to add? Like, I know you said you want to do like different mini games, but where do you want to go with like the sumo thing in terms of like how many players Are win conditions going to be based off of a stock count, or specifically like if you die 3 times you're out? How many kills, how many wins you get before time runs out? Power ups or anything like that to give you more of a competitive edge?
So on a sumo match, the rule is always the first sumo to leave the arena is the one that loses and the other one wins. So there will always be one winner per game. And I'm thinking of making it like a Mario Party system in terms of score. So the winner of each minigame gets assigned a bonus score, let's say 100 points. And those scores start adding up, like, let's say at the end of 10 rounds, you can decide the final winner. That's what I'm thinking so far.
Just a question. Is that like a rainbow in the background?
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of colors that I pen around. I made like a color palette on the game. I don't know if you can see, but the platforms match the colors of that skybox. I just made that texture and then I just plotted it on the skybox of the game on the 6 sides like a cube. It's still not done. I just wanted to have something that wasn't like a blue sky, something more like colorful, more playful, which is the main intention to the game. And that's how I basically got there.
I really like the colors, but I do think it is a bit bright of a background. Especially since the characters sort of blend into the background color. It might be harder for people to identify a character. I don't know.
Yeah, now that you're telling me, yeah, I'm getting kind of tripped out from looking at the background. Thanks for pointing that out. I'll definitely make it a bit more pale. And I'm even thinking of something more like pastel-like, no?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's almost 8 minutes. Is there one last quick question?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Raph.
Cool.
No, thanks. Thanks to everyone for hearing, for your feedback. Thank you.
Clap, 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 clap.
Presentations to 8 minutes. I don't know what we said before, but
You said 10, I think, before, but yeah,
Okay.
something different.
all right.
It's just too many of you guys.
You guys are too amazing.
I'm gonna keep track of time, and I'll let you guys know. You know, if you're over.
And who's up next? It's the Sunrunner Team 2.
Yeah, I'll be the one to present it. And for us, we have not a game, rather just a PowerPoint, because we haven't got there yet. All right, so we're Team 2, and Sunrunner is our work in progress name. So what we have so far, what we have planned is it's going to be a 2.5D platformer where it's made with 3D assets, but it's in a 2D like perspective. So yeah, and our main like emphasis is mobility focused combat. So basically, you have tools that not only can be used to attack, but also used to traverse the stage. So like in this insane clip that I can watch any day of the week, we have this guy. He uses a pogo, like he basically pogos off the enemy to jump really high. So that's the kind of thing we're going for, because I think that's really cool. So yeah, things like hook shots, air dashes, yeah, all that fun stuff. And as for the direction of the game, like what kind of like levels structure and like level style in general we'll have, we're still not too sure yet. But we're gonna make like a sandbox and place all of our mechanics that we have so far and to see what our team likes. And then from there, we'll decide. We'll have a more concrete answer. And the main reason why it's called Sunrunner is because we want our visual themes to be solar punk, basically. So, you know, like technology and nature coexisting. And it's going to be nice and pretty, but also like technologically advanced using the power of nature. And okay, so we have two concepts. Here's a very rudimentary one that I drew. So we have this character. I actually based it off of a skeleton shrimp, and then we have this weapon, like this huge weapon, and it's kind of based off of a pistol shrimp claw, which is pretty cool. So this thing will be able to like attack many ways, and we might like scrap most of the stuff I drew on the side, but for now the main one is air blast. So basically, what air blast is it shoots out like a puff of air, kind of like a really strong puff of air that'll knock enemies away. And like if it doesn't do damage, but if the enemies collide into terrain or other enemies, it'll do damage. But the best thing about it is that if you're in the air and you use whichever direction you use air blast from, you'll get ejected the other direction. So like I think that's Newton's third law of physics. Yeah, so basically if you aim it down, you get shot up, and if you like aim it up, you get shot down. So yeah, and we're gonna try to implement more mechanics, such as like a Mega Man X style dash, if you know what that is. If not, it's just you just move faster on the ground, but if you jump, you carry that boost of speed into the air. So it makes really fluid gameplay, like the one I showed. Yeah, this is like the character using the dash with the after images. Not sure if we'll get after images, but yeah. So okay, and then now here's our second character concept from our lovely artist Josh.
Oh gosh, that's me. Hi guys, I'm Josh. I'm an animator. I draw pictures. So I did not name this character. It's him, the Sun Runner. Basically what I was thinking about is like arm-mounted crossbows. I sure do like Legend of Zelda, so like the hookshot, the clawshot are very cool. What I was thinking, and you can sort of see this in column 1, is you can sort of like aim your crossbow and you can like shoot it at enemies, but instead of like sort of hanging and like swinging, it's more of like a zip to or like a grapple. And when you get to the enemy, they would like poof and disappear, and you would do a cool somersault and land to the other side, sort of farther than you would rather just plain jumping. Second implementation of like an arm-mounted crossbow would be just like being able to move platforms around and like customize how far, or just the sort of platforms that you can interact with. The third one is sort of like a riff off of Moon's air blast idea, where they would run and jump, air blast down, which would give them like a little bit of a flip, and then they land farther than they would just by plain jumping. Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking so far. Oh, the other thing is like they have like a fishing reel on their arm-mounted crossbow, so they could, reel themselves back into their arrow. And I thought that was real cool. Yeah, I think next we're jumping into... What are we jumping into, team?
I think is this Paul's? Yeah, this is Paul's.
Ooh, that's cool.
Paul, if you would like to share, please do.
Paul, you are muted.
I believe Paul is still in class.
Did mention he was in class.
Oh yeah, he did say he's in class.
Okay, so I guess this is just his concept.
They sure do look real cool, though.
Yeah. So we have like 3 kind of different characters, and which one we'll do, we're not sure yet. But that decision will come sooner or later. So yeah, and these are our list of inspirations. I won't name like every single game, but if you see a game on there that you recognize, nice. You'll if you can recognize some of them, you'll kind of know what to look forward to, or like you kind of know.
Sure do like video games.
Yep. So yeah, thank you for listening, everyone. That's all we got so far. So any questions, suggestions, comments, anything?
I have one.
Oh yeah, sure. What is it?
So I don't know if you have any story plan. I'm not actually suggesting a story, but like an option could be is you have a different character for different parts in the that they have to go down. So like you start with one character and then maybe you go on to a different one for certain levels or something. If you want to do things that way, I know several games that do that.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, that's cool, but that's pretty ambitious, and we're gonna have to.
I'm not saying you have to do that. I'm just.
But yeah, that would be pretty cool. Multiple characters with like distinct abilities.
Yeah, different abilities, like in SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
It's definitely ambitious, so I don't expect you guys to. But I was just, food for thought.
No thanks. No, I'm kidding.
Is there one more question?
I had a question. So you said a theme is solar punk. So what about the protagonist themselves is representative of solar punk? Because you showed me the idea for the environment, but when it comes to the protagonist themselves, how do they do it? Is it only out of appearance, or how do their abilities and functions relate to the theme of solar punk?
Well, I can mostly only speak for mine, which is this one. But basically, like these are there's like a specific word where you derive technology based off of like animals. So that's like kind of the main thing I went for, because this atomic cannon weapon I made is based off of a pistol shrimp claw, where they compress or like they crush really hard, and so that with the water and the pressure, it creates like a shock wave. So it's just that, but like, yeah, it's that, but like taken to a next level. And as for the Sunrunner himself, Josh, would you like to say something?
No, I didn't really think about Solarpunk. I mean, I like battle goggles, and I see a lot of glass in Solarpunk. That was the furthest I thought about it, but we'll definitely keep it in mind for the future.
Yeah. These are still just concepts. We can definitely expand on it to make it fit more. Is the game gonna have different levels or just one that's really big? We're leaning more towards obstacle course levels, like like the Marios, the Celestes, those kinds of levels. So we'll probably just have multiple levels, but that can be subject to change. But that's what we have on our mind so far.
Yeah. Great. It's about almost 10 minutes, so we're gonna have to transition. If there are any more questions, you know who to DM.
Yeah, you can type it in the chat and I'll respond to them. So, yeah.
Which chat?
Yeah. Oh, the general chat.
General
the general chat and the general discussion. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, you guys.
Clap, clap, clap.
Yep, that was cool. Excited. Okay, someone's next.
Indeed.
Flair
or Claire.
All right. Is Claire on the team?
One sec, I have so many tabs. One sec, hold up. My bad.
You're supposed to be ready.
I'm getting it too. Alright, can you see it?
Yes.
Alright, so this is Flair or Claire concept by me. Building off of the idea of control. What was that?
Sorry, I just see click to exit full screen. Oh, something's loading. Oh, okay, I see the presentation now.
Oh, okay, can you see it though?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just leave it like this just in case it does that again. So yeah, so my thought of the control idea was who was in control. And so I basically centered it around two twins that share the same body, and it's Flair or Claire. And they either fight or can see control of their body, and they both use a bow. Claire is associated with the color purple, and she uses range attacks with the bow and does more damage. and Flare is associated with the yellow, and she whacks you with the bow and has more health. My inspiration was basically Hell from Smite, how you could just switch in between her two stances, and I am still working on the design and learning pixel art, so yeah, it's taking some time. The setting is fantasy. It's going to be located in a small forest village. Story-wise, you're going to live with your aunt or uncle, the generic protagonist thing. And everyone kind of knows or already knows about your split personality, so they'll react differently to whoever you are when you approach them. And I'm thinking of adding a currency system. When you play Mario, you collect coins. In here, you'll collect rocks because, the number one resource that is scarce is probably rocks. So, coal is the cheapest, emerald and sapphire. The plot is kind of simple. The forest attacks the village, and you have to find the source. And of course, the twins are fighting for full control over the body, and you get to decide who wins that. The game is going to be made in Unity. It's a platformer, and I'm still deciding on pixel size. Again, I'm just new to pixel art, so still learning. The plan mechanics I have, we're going to keep track of who you play as most, and then that'll kind of decide who wins the body. And of course, you get to run, jump, shoot, and melee mobs. And there are environmental hazards, such as falling, maybe some falling rocks, who knows. And then I was just thinking of other concepts that I may or may not include in the game, like backtracking to go back to levels and open up new locations. Maybe upgrade your bow using the money. Maybe an ultimate ability. And my main influences were Shantae, basically how she transforms into different animals to get around the world, and the Mario overworld, which I was thinking of implementing. And so my main goal or objectives is to create one level with character switching, create mobs, maybe design the village hub and have NPCs, and design the overworld map. And I am mostly focused on the game design, so how it plays and such, more than the art, because I am an animator and artist, but I'm trying to get more into the development of things. Someone said that from OVAB, that the game design should override the art. I forgot who said that. I'm sorry, but that stuck with me, so I'm keeping that. Yeah, go ahead. And so it's basically just a learning process for me, just to kind of learn Unity programming, understand the game development workflow, explore pixel art, and solo my first game. And that's it.
No.
Nice. You're going solo, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck in doing that. It seems fairly doable, though. Don't be too overambitious if you're going solo, though.
Yeah, I know.
And I like the character swapping idea. And in the end, whoever you play the most as gives you your answer, because it lets the player know which character or playstyle they like playing more as.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really dope mechanic, especially if because that kind of reminds me of some games kind of have that mechanic where you're light or dark side, mainly the Star Wars games with the Force. But that's kind of cool. If you have to keep one side in check, are they all keeping themselves in check?
Oh, what about that Infamous game? Was it called Infamous or?
It is Infamous, yeah.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah. Cool concept, actually. Hella cool concept.
I have a question about that split personality. You said the names are Claire and Flare. So are these two souls the same gender, or are they opposing genders?
Same gender. They're both girls.
Okay.
It's gonna be a waifu war.
Yes, sir.
We don't go there.
Will you have 2 different endings?
Ooh.
That was the main reason why there's a timer to keep in track of who you play as most. Maybe a third ending, who knows?
Spicy.
You mentioned that what was it? The NPCs in the world would interact with your player differently based on who you're playing as. So maybe near the end, you could also add some kind of tracker to see who you interacted with NPCs the most as, and maybe who you used for battle the most.
Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, yeah, I'll write that down.
May I
Thank
give a suggestion for on character development?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't take any offense or anything. This is just something from an English major that instructors have told me to.
Go for it.
When you're writing for a character that's an opposite gender than yourself, it's best to not go off the top of your head or reference too much from like popular media. I would recommend asking actual female people who identify as female, like in this, like how would you feel you would act in like this kind of instance and things like that, and actually get actual interviews from the gender that you are writing for. That way you can avoid any like accidentally creating a flat character based on tired tropes or stereotypes to avoid pissing off the that side of the community.
I see. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking too deep into that. I was just like, I like drawing girls more. All right.
Man's got his
No shame in that.
priorities.
There's no shame.
An honest man.
Oh man, culture.
Draw what you want, right?
Is there one more question?
Okay. Up
Thank you,
next,
guys.
we have Group 5. Thank you, Christian, by the way. Thank you. Clap, clap, clap.
Okay. Let me know when you can see.
We can see.
Seems good.
Okay. So I'm not gonna full screen it. So sorry if you need help with the slides. But right now our game is currently untitled. We just have it set as like our pitch idea. It's me, Kobe, Chia, Beatrix, and Deanna. Our game is essentially going to be a 2D text narrative escape room kind of situation. The genre is mystery, and and the way that the story is set up is the player was playing with the Ouija board and accidentally gets pulled into the other realm by the demon, and so now the player has to solve puzzles to escape like various rooms or levels of the realm he's currently in order to free himself and return back to Earth. All this culminating in a final confrontation with said demon, and to where we're going to try to implement an RPG element of where you actually have to like fight the demon by by dealing damage through like correctly answering riddles or figuring out his true name based off of finding key items that the player may or may not have found in the previous rooms. And so the various puzzles we're thinking of is solving word riddles, like kind of like hangman style, or
Traditional escape room puzzles.
Yeah, traditional escape room puzzles kind of situation, and each as you get higher, the difficulty of course increases, and there's also the chance that if you don't escape from a room in time, you will progress to the next room. However, the player will lose a portion of their soul to the demon. So the higher you go and the better you do, the more of a chance you'll actually last against the demon. And the games that we're being inspired right now are Unravel Mysteries.
No. It's called Witch's House.
Oh yeah, Witch's House. Oh
Yeah, and then Ib.
Yeah, Witch's House, Ibs, as well as decision making games like The Last of Us and The Walking Dead. So right now the program we're using right now is Twine. We might transfer it to Unity as well, but we're also implementing illustrations done by Beatrix, to also give it more of a visual novel kind of feel as well. So where you actually when you actually like see the items you need, it'll actually appear, or you'll be able to actually have a interface with the puzzles to like turn pieces and such. Yeah, that's the main of our game.
Awesome. I didn't quite catch it. Is it a Twine game?
It is right now where our
Yeah, it's right now it's Twine.
How are you gonna? Do you know how you want to implement the puzzles in Twine?
We're still figuring it out. Someone told me there's a way to make Twine and Unity interface with one another or something like that. We're trying to still figure that part out. If not, we're probably gonna try using like Game Maker or Rimply as well.
No, I think realistically we were just saying Twine and Unity, right?
Yeah.
Because Game Maker costs like 100.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments? Anything is welcome. You can be as honest as Simon Cowell. Cole, you're flashing like you're thinking. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was moving my mic. No, the only thing I was interested is how you'll, because I've worked with Twine before. I'm just curious how you want to implement the Twine mechanics. That sounds really interesting.
It's definitely a work in progress. We have 3 of us who are gonna try to learn a bit of programming, so we could have one person look up how we can possibly do this puzzle, and then another person do a different kind of puzzle. And if we can't figure it out, we're pretty much we'll pretty much keep it text based into where you'll have like 3 or 4 different options. Choose the correct one, the path continues. If not, you'll die. You'll get a game over.
Mm-hmm. You guys are using Sugar Cube?
Sugar Cube?
For the engine in Twine?
We're probably just gonna use the default one.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, we don't have any programmers at all, so this is gonna be a crash course for us.
Well, except me. I've worked with Twine before.
Right. My bad.
Well, the base Harlow whatever is pretty simplistic. I mean, I think the only thing you really do is Boolean logic and stuff. But if you do Sugar Cube, you can have like data sets and it gets a lot more sophisticated. And like I made a Twine game where like you could like choose different options, and then at the end it would like keep track of what you chose and do some like mathematical formulations and all. So
Nah.
We'll check that out. Thanks for the intel.
Yeah. Well, are there any more questions or comments? Any confusions?
Right.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, and we hope to have more to show next time.
Yeah, thank you, Team Fire. And up next, we have Project Forest Creature Defense.
Hey yo.
Hello.
Y'all can hear me? Alright, sweet. So let me just get that set up as of right now. Google slide presentation and such. So yeah. Un momento. Alright. Let's go. Alright, so can everyone see the title that I'm presenting?
Yes.
Alright, so hello everyone. The name's Nate, coming in from group number 3. And so yeah. So the theme being control when we had that team gathering and such. Oh, I'm actually sorry. 1 second. My bad. Okay. Honest to goodness, my bad. Technical difficulties, but let's see if we can get the ball rolling. So yeah. So last time when the teams gather around with the theme being control, right? One of the ideas that I had in mind was a simple tower defense game, right? I'm pretty sure y'all are familiar with that. You know, like there's a certain one path. You know, you place your turrets, they destroy the enemies one at a time. So that's pretty much a very simple idea to tie it around and such, right? But I kind of want y'all to hold on to that for a bit and such. We'll come back to that later. So, yeah, the tower defense game is actually quite simple, mostly a top-down view, which is honestly pretty fun and such, right? Really easy. But one aspect that I would like to try to tackle with or introduce y'all is what about, say, the Doom style of 3D graphics? Just in case if you don't know, say back in the day, if you were an FPS nut, id Tech being one of the founding fathers of the whole first-person view and such, giving off this, say, false sense of 3D and such, right? But still convincing during the time and such. You can wander around, there's elevations, move up and down, and say, enemies, objects, or sprites, right? Essentially would be different drawings at different perspectives and such. Which to me, I think that's actually quite cool, being able to accomplish that during their time and such. But the whole wandering 3D aspect, let's take that idea and play around with it for a bit. So then say, what if you were to wake up in a forest of some kind? You honestly have no idea where you are, what you are, but you have this beautiful locale to pretty much explore and such. There's a trail that leads to unknowns, right? And such. You say continue further going through the journey through this dense forest. You see maybe monuments or maybe cliff sides, like high up places that you yourself can't reach, but you know maybe your curiosity spikes you. It's like, you know, what could possibly be up there? You continue and follow along this path, right? Ancient ruins and such. But then let's say you were to come across something, whether it be a object of importance, you know, like say, oh, what about like say, you know, some giant crystal in the middle of the forest, or like a castle tower, or you know, let's spice things up. What about like say the heart of the forest, such, right? Something that seems important. But that trail that you were following along earlier that leads back up to this, all of a sudden it starts to being occupied by, say, these creatures, unknown, but all you do know is that they look unfriendly, and that it appears that their interest was that objects of importance and such. Uh, so you try to take action and such to defend this object, but you can't do anything actually and stuff. You don't have abilities here or there and stuff. As a matter of fact, you try to block their path, right? Maybe stand in front of them, but they phase right through you. You are pretty much non-existent and such. But what you can do is, what if you have the ability to say summon something, right? Toss out, say, an essence, a crystal, or whatever, right? At a high ridge that you noticed earlier throughout your travels and such. And if you can, make that shot and such, what if you had the ability to summon, say, a dragon, mind you, and stuff that has abilities to essentially breathe fire, and it would actually attack the creatures and essentially defend for you and stuff, acting as your turret, coming back to that whole tower defense idea. So with that in mind, the game idea and pitch that I would like to introduce y'all would be a working title, but um, a game that we're going to be calling Project Forest Creature Defense in the meantime. But yeah, and such. Being able to put a twist to the whole tower defense game where the towers or the turrets would be creatures with elemental tie-ins that would help defend against whatever forces of nature that comes your way and such. And really fun ideas, right? Basic but also fun ideas, like say element types, right? Say if you were to have, the fire type, that would be your basic, attack. You place it down, it goes pew and stuff, and it breathes fire and stuff. So that would be your dragon. But then say water would be your defense, right? And such. um if you guys ever seen, like, those funny like videos of, like, say, kids playing around in like puddles and such, right? It stomps on one puddle, stomps on another, but then it stomps on a really big puddle, and then the person would sink in and such, right? What if you had a creature like, say, an axolotl or some kind of water creature that places down these lily pads that essentially act like landmines, and say the creature, if we're to walk over it, it falls in and such, right? That being your defense aspect. One last thing is, say, what about grass and such, right? What would your grass or earth element would be? An idea that came to mind is what if that would be your resource and such. Calling back to, let's say, Plants versus Zombies. If you guys are familiar with that game, you need sunshine in order to create plants to help defend your house. But so the first plant that you pot is essentially like, say, the sunflower, right, and stuff, so you can gather sun. So let's say if you summon a wolf, right? A wolf of nature and such. And every time it howls, it captures its enemies within a radius, but it marks them with a flower and such, right? And if you have good team synergy, right, then say, well, what if the dragon attacks one of the enemies with the flowers, and then you can get bonus resources, fun little tidbits like that and such, right? So yeah, that's just pretty much ideas having fun with that. Just a quick mention on why I pretty much led on with the whole idea of the Doom 3D aspect. Being able to wander around is because of a few things. One, I really want to take on a twist to the whole tower defense idea and such because again, as I mentioned, or maybe you saw in the examples, it's mostly at a top-down artistic view and such. And I really want to put a spin on that because I've seen quite a few tower defense games at a basic level that it's like that. Yes, there are some like unique ones out there, but then say, wouldn't it be cool if we can try to tackle that 3D aspect without necessarily stressing out the artist and stuff, like worrying about 3D modeling, rigging, and animation? What if we could do something similar to the Doom 3D style aspect of that? So yeah, with that in mind, one thing I really want to mention is that even though we brought it up as a team and such, the idea may be a bit ambitious to go for, but it's fun nonetheless to have these ideas and such. But with acceptable compromises, I think this could be a really fun game and such. Pretty much with that in mind, after we pretty much settled it on this, we're already getting started, mind you, actually. Pretty much, giving the artists, say, their first warm-up assignment of, say, possible turrets or enemies.
Hey, Nate.
I really hope you guys can see this, but one of our lovely artists has already gone
Hey,
to.
Nate?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. It's been 8 minutes, so you'll have to wrap up soon.
Oh, it's 8 minutes. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. If you guys can see this, we have one of our lovely artists who already started working on some possible turret designs for, say, the fire creature that will pretty much attack our enemy, and we even have level 1 enemy designs. So I really like the shadow slash dark matter aspect of it. Kind of a reference towards, say, Heartless, similar to, say, Kingdom Hearts, if you are familiar with that franchise and such. And as for me, actually, and such, I actually was really excited to work on, say, the fire turret or the fire creature and such, concepts and iterations and stuff, right? Say 1 through 3 is like, oh, what if like fire breathing dragon, but then what can we do about that, right? And so just fun little iterations here and there and stuff based off of say either fantasy creatures like say Spyro and stuff, or what about real life creatures like say like that one gecko that has a really big tail. Unfortunately, I don't remember, but that's definitely inspiration. But yeah, pretty much playing with the idea, not necessarily having to stick with the whole like fire dragon motif, but then say what about other creatures and stuff like fire fox, fire rabbit, mind you, and stuff. But yeah, so essentially we're pretty much having fun with that. And so yeah, that's pretty much about it. If you guys have any questions or comments, I would definitely love to hear it. And that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for listening.
Yeah, thanks for presenting. If there are any questions, we're out of time for this presentation, so you just have to message in the general chat or DM.
For sure, for sure. All right. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. All right.
All right. How do I stop this? Oh, right here.
Right. Next person, Project Wizard.
I believe I'm presenting for our group. So just give me a moment. Sorry about this. There we go. I should be live. Okay. So for us, we haven't really kind of fleshed out kind of art style and all that stuff yet. We have some general ideas, but at the moment, we're just trying to figure out exactly what we want to do. So this is kind of just, we're planning on using Unity. And we kind of want it to be top down. Part of the reason for that is that I feel that a lot of games that people are pitching are platformers, and for me personally, at least, I kind of want to see something different. So we're trying to go for top down, maybe tile based, and we're definitely sticking with 2D because 3D introduces a different level of complexity maybe for the artists. We really wanted to kind of stick with the theme of control. So we brainstormed a couple ideas, and we decided on maybe something based around either we're not fully decided yet, but either a fantasy setting or maybe a futuristic sci-fi setting, where we have a player character that would fight separate various enemies, and then the enemies would maybe possibly disable controls of the player, kind of playing into that theme. And then the game would end up being kind of almost like a resource management thing where you're trying to prevent certain aspects of your player from being disabled. And then we would have maybe multiple items hidden across the level or within the dungeon that could either heal you up or maybe prevent or give you some kind of immunity. In terms of difficulties, I do think that the main difficulty would be coming up with a way to design this kind of control disabling without making it seem BS or dumb from the point of the player. Because I know what one of the most annoying things when playing like RPGs or something like that sometimes can just be like the confusion debuff where you can't really control your player entirely, which was why rather than taking a look at maybe disabling the entire player's controls, we would maybe instead disable certain aspects of it. So the player would still have control over their character, but maybe it's more limited control. In terms of references and inspirations, some of the things that we're looking at in terms of like a dungeon crawler is something like stuff like Crypt of the Necrodancer, Binding of Isaac, where you're kind of traveling through a dungeon. You come up against various enemies and you have to fight them. We were also maybe thinking about tying something like what's it called? Are like players' HP to the amount of controls that they have. So once you lose full control of the player, maybe that's when you actually lose. There's definitely still a lot of stuff to flesh out, and I think just the main thing is figuring out a way to implement this mechanic without making it feel dumb on the side of the player. And then that's really all that we're at right now. We're still a little bit more on the brainstorming idea. And so if anyone has any questions, then they can ask right now.
Can you go back to the gameplay slide?
We didn't really have a gameplay slide unless you're talking about this one.
Oh, the game brief.
Oh, the game brief. Yeah, we have a really general plot at the moment. We're not really sure if we want to go with the fantasy aspect where we have like maybe a knight or something like that, and he's just trying to escape a dungeon or something like that, and there's maybe some magical being messing with him. And maybe another thing, because we were thinking about it, and fantasy is a pretty common thing, and we kind of wanted to switch it up a bit. So we're also thinking maybe some kind of a sci-fi, cyberpunk, futuristic kind of thing, where maybe the reason why you lose your controls is because maybe you're like a robot or something like that, and certain aspects of your body malfunction, and that's why you lose control.
What's your team comp right now?
It's me and one other for programming, and then we've got 3 artists.
Okay, cool.
I gotta say, I'm amused by the idea. It's very similar to something I have thought up, but not actually started. Really. If you want to cross ideas.
Yeah, it's definitely something that what was it? The GMT TK 2020 idea was out of control, so I did. I had some ideas based on that, so when the theme came up, I was like, this is kind of similar. And so I was thinking of something like this back then, and so I was thinking that maybe with a team, there might be a way to flesh this idea out more.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be definitely down talking and passing ideas along if you want to do that when it's not like everyone's still presenting.
Yeah, for sure. That'd definitely be interesting. All right, if no one else has got really anything to say, then I guess we're done. Thanks for hearing us out. And yeah.
Thanks for showing.
Yep, no problem.
See, the hidden forest is a very common theme.
Forests are cool.
A lot of the presentations. All right. Next up, we got Fractured Seas.
I have
working game.
I have no presentation. Well, I do have a presentation, and I'm gonna. Oh, I almost hit the wrong thing. All right. I guess we'll do it live. I'm not prepared. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Joshua. I just joined the club this semester. I transferred here this past fall, but I'm figuring out how this could work. And I'm doing this entirely on the fly, so we'll see how it goes. I'm really just I'm a sole developer currently working on more or less a passion project. It's not made for anything otherwise, just for me to play around with and have fun with. And it's called Fractured Seas. It's it's being designed as kind of semi-simulation, but not really a simulation game. It's a vehicle simulation game. As someone could tell, it has to do with boats. It's a naval action game where players can control different ships and sail around and engage in different activities. Primarily, the 2 major game loops are combat and, I guess, basic forms of trade. It's it's being ballparked as a multiplayer game, but, I don't know if I'll ever get there. I'll have to do a lot of network engineering, and that's really hard. I don't really have a presentation because that's basically as far as the presentation goes. There's some other stuff in here, but it's not really important. So I'm going to just show the Unity project, and if anyone has questions, this is going to be more or less a discussion than anything else. I've been working on this game for about, in terms of solid coding and development, probably since mid to end of December, and have been powering through it since. nearly every day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month. And it has been actually a fantastic time. I'll be honest. The current state of the game, I'm not going to be showing the main branch, mainly because the main branch is kind of broken. So I'm going to be showing the branch that I've been working on for the past couple months, which is this one right here, to mainly test out things like combat systems, which is the first, really, I guess, element or pillar, I guess you would say, of the game that I'm currently working on. There is a lot of ridiculous mechanics that go into this. I purely know how to code, and everything else was a pain in the neck of a process. This boat is about the 15th iteration month. It is months of pure work. There have been weeks where I dumped probably 7 hours a day, 7 days a week into this, and it is just how it is. This boat is, yes, like the 15th time. In fact, I actually pulled this picture up. I can show you this beautiful thing. This is the first boat I ever made in all its glory. That is the first boat, which has been turned into this boat. So it's been a lot of cool adventure stuff to really figure out how all these different mechanics work and to really piece things together to get where we are now. Currently, the driving is disabled in this little test environment. There's another one. Because the ocean physics, I don't need it here. I don't really want to test it in here because it just adds more time for me to constantly restart the play session. So it's all fixed and everything is all static. But everything else works perfectly fine. Really, I'm actually a little bit excited because I can show off a lot of the main, I guess, primary things that are in here. Yeah, I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm going to keep going. One of the cool things about this is that all the weapon systems in this game are guided by sensor systems that are on board your ship. Primarily, as of right now, the main source of which is radar. On this ship, we actually have 2 radars on board. We have this guy right here, which is a surface radar, which is designed to like scan the horizon. And we have this guy, which is an aerial radar, which is designed to see things in the sky, like that cube up there. Radar in this game currently is actually fully physically modeled, meaning it doesn't use like a 360 cheat sheet way to guesstimate, hey, that's within a certain range, I can see you. Instead, the radar actually looks around. So when the radar is on, it will sweep, and it will collide with things, and it will detect them as it goes, and that's how your ship is able to see. Because a lot of weapons, if you want automatic weapons, meaning you're not actively pointing this gun yourself, ships can only really see what your ship sees. So if your ship cannot see certain things, that means your weapons can't see them either, which is a really cool dynamic that I'm trying to really push on for if you're fighting someone. You can really mess with how detection and stealth works to really use that as sort of an advantage tool in terms of combat. I turned sound off. I did turn sound off. I turned sound off, by the way, because it is ridiculously loud. Nothing is balanced because it's purely for me to make sure that things are working audibly, so I don't have to stare at the code, the debug file. Currently, radar is actually the only subsystem that works, but it does work, and it does turn on, and we can see everything being populated around us. The radar will automatically go around and sweep things, and it will automatically flag them for us. There is a bug where it will spawn it in the middle of my screen, and for some reason my mini-map isn't working right now, but that's something that I have to fix, I guess, because it was working 5 minutes ago. So that's how it goes. All the things around can be detected by the radar. In fact, if I was to switch this sucker on, you can see how we're... No, actually, I'm not going to do that because it's going to crash my frames.
Love the little boxes.
What was that?
Of the boxes, the UI.
Those boxes are tracks. Those are tracks that are being tracked by your ship right now. Each track is basically an object that the radar, in this case, because there's no sonar on board, that the radar has detected, and your ship will store all of these tracks in a list. Now, there's no actual UI element for that. There's supposed to be one because I have been working on other things. I'm not a UI artist either. This UI is probably going through its 5th complete reconstruction. But
that's really cool, though.
Was that?
It looks really cool.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, this one, I've been rushing this UI out for like the past 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, I got to do this for the presentation. But yeah, so those squares are tracks. You can see them. They'll be updated whenever the radar redetects them again. That little second on the bottom shows the last time that it is contacted, and it'll refresh when the radar hits it again. That allows you to be able to see, for example, if I was to go and crank this up to like 0, and I crank this to about 100, and I can't see anything, or let's say it was nighttime, I no longer can see with my naked eyeballs, but my ship sees for me, and that's a powerful thing. Except that because of lighting issues with the fog and whatever, because of the skybox and whatnot. I don't even remember why I set that to. There we go. I can just undo it. What else? What else works? What else works? There's a lot of cool stuff that works. You can actually cycle and target through things. It doesn't show up on the radar because the radar is apparently not working today. It is working. This guy just moved. Yeah. It's working, but something's weird about it. Let's see what else we could do. We can target things. You can select different turrets. There's currently 2 turrets on board this ship. I can select both of them, although the UI is supposed to be here, but again, UI I've been pushing off for a very long time. I really don't like doing it. It looks nice, but it's not fun. Yes.
Yeah, you're at 8 minutes now.
Cool. I guess we'll just shoot stuff. So I'm going to just go ahead. We'll shoot that guy, and then we'll show off the coolest thing in the world, which is missiles.
Hell yeah.
Really, I'm much more of a chat person, so if you have anything that it's so far away. It's not that far away. I just don't like it being that close because it's just going to look awkward. We'll hit this guy. We'll lock him, and 1 away.
Whoa. Now that is sick. It's like Gary.
Now, missiles actually have program logic in them, where once they arm after a couple seconds, they'll arm and they'll start tracking the target in front of them. That means that these missiles actually are intercepting missiles. They don't follow. So they'll actually predict the target's movement and be able to aim in front of it. So they'll actually intercept. We can actually watch this guy. If I could catch him, he's super fast, but... Bam.
That is sick.
And so they work really well. Eventually, things like countering to missiles with guns or other systems are planned as well. But yeah, either flak or if anyone's familiar with like close-in weapon systems like the phalanx, which basically spits out 1 million rounds a second. Things like flares or even missiles to shoot down other missiles. All that cool stuff. But yeah, this is kind of where things are without sailing and all that stuff. Just because again, this build doesn't have it, but yeah, this is kind of what I've been working on for about 3 months or so, and it's been really fantastic. So in terms of genre, I would put this closer to a vehicle simulation game. So something closer to, not really World of Warships, but probably something closer, almost closer to what we have in the market as like space games. So things maybe like Elite, Dangerous, if you've ever played that, or some other games. There's not naval games, especially, are very incredibly niche. So there's not a lot of good examples that I can really say.
10 minutes, so we gotta move on.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, thanks for showing off. I'm personally really impressed. This is cool.
It has been a long time of tearing my hair out, but it's been fantastic, I tell you what. Being able to at least go into here and mess around with things and launch the missiles is such a cool thing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right,
Yeah,
thanks for showing off.
If you guys ever have any questions, hit me up. I will be glad to answer them. I'm usually always at my computer anyways working on this, so.
Well, I can chat.
We got
feel free to ask me in chat.
Guys next.
Oh, I thought it was Eternal Reign, the card game.
Eternal Reign, the card game, is next.
Yeah, that's me. Give me a second. Let's see, where is it? Come on. Okay, I'm not sure. Can you guys see this? Okay. Can you guys see this?
See a
or no?
white screen.
Okay, no, I give me a second. screen. Let's just do that. All right. So can you guys see this now?
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
All right. So yeah, I'm working on Eternal Reign, the card game. So the name says it all. It's a card game. It's got a bit of fantasy theme elements where players are playing as immortals who you can consider as overlords as such, and their goal is to try and conquer enemy territory. So it's more about taking control of enemy land. That's what this game is. So how the game goes is it's going to be a strategy card game where you want to play different units, and based on the sort of units you play out, you try to break the enemy's wall, their defenses, and attack their leader. So like I got the inspiration from like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Duel Masters. So let me actually just go here. So this is all I have so far. I'm still working on it. I started around a week ago. So as of right now, I have a deck where you can actually draw cards from, and the cards are actually different. I'm right now working on the process of like putting those cards down on the field, moving it to other locations, and then implementing like the character phases and so on. So how the game would work is you have use these brown lines on the side represent the enemy's walls. So each wall has a certain amount of defensive points, and basically you want to put your cards on these card slots to sort of protect your wall and also have a character to go and attack the enemy wall. There's a little bit more on what the UI sort of would look like. We've got a player hand. You're going to have a deck, a graveyard, an exile location, and a special section. Got the playing field and the wall. So one thing that I want to do a little different from all the other like card games is instead of putting all the really strong cards in your deck, I want them all to be in this special zone. And so the only way you get those cards out is by doing a certain sort of interaction with the card. So, for example, if you wanted to get out a certain card in the special zone, you'd have to maybe fill out, make a formation basically of a certain type of card, just like around the map, around your zone. This is sort of like what the card looks like with where information's at. So at the top, you'd have the cost to play the card, the name of the card, the image, the card type, description, and stats. There are three types of cards mainly. You have cavalry, which are strong offensive and defensive units, but their downside is they can only attack in one direction, and they only attack the first unit they see. You've got marksmen who are weaker units, but they make up for that by being able to attack basically anywhere in one row. Then finally, you've got mages who are even weaker units, but the reason why they are worth playing is because they can actually provide some amazing utility by using your extra mana resource. In certain cases, you might have like a mage who would be able to attack maybe 4 squares at the same time if you give enough mana or something like that. So that's the different types of cards. Let's see. I can show a little bit of what I've got again. So right now, this is just what you normally see. And then when we click on play, just give it a second. I'm just going to draw a card, and you can see cards are getting drawn here. right now the images are a bit too small, so let me actually just do it this way so you guys get a better idea. So this right now is supposed to represent the player deck. So if you look at this right now, all the cards that you see are actually face down. If you actually click on a card, there's actually an is face up checkbox that if you click, it actually reveals all the information about the card. So leaving that aside, let's say let's actually take this one and see if that shows up. Yeah, so you can see that that's actually displaying what's in the card. So once I draw a few cards, they leave the player deck, and the player view, player hand, they show up. So right now, I actually only have 2 different types of cards, but as you can see, they actually properly show up as separate things. You got Brandy the Drunk over here, who, let's see if I can zoom in on that. That might be nice. So he's got some text over here. He's a man who's always basically drunk at the bar. Some say he had a huge responsibility, but like they don't know much about that anymore. The other character is Jennifer, the arcane strategist. Let's see, that's supposed to be second card. She is a master of magic who has lived for like 300 years or something like that. So I'm actually having fun trying out these objects called scriptable object data. You actually make them with scripts, and what they do is they just basically store unique data. So like how I'm trying to make this work right now is basically all the data that you see on the card, you have that right here. And then if there are like any specific effects, I'm putting that in sort of a list, and I'm basically going to try and call like that sort of function when needed. But yeah, that's what I got so far. Any questions?
I really like the card game idea just because I worked on one too. So I'll be rooting for you, man. I'll be rooting for you. Good luck with it. Are you in a team?
Right. So I have a teammate.
Yeah, I'm in the team.
His name is Mebin. It's just it's just
Wonderful.
Mebin and me right now.
Wonderful.
But there's
Yeah, we'd be
actually like
down to have any more people if they want to join.
yeah, just some open positions.
Yeah, like we're totally down if people want to join us on this.
What kind of positions are you looking for?
Like I actually have like a let's see, I have like a list of what all we need to do. So honestly, like whoever wants to join is good. Like we need like a developer, we need like 2 artists and possibly a sound developer. Honestly, these are just roles that we need. It could be done by like 1 or 2 people too. So I have like just a list of what I'm expecting to try and get done in like before the semester ends. So like as an artist, what I'm trying to get is basically an image for cavalry units, an image for archer units, an image for mage units, maybe a better card background than what I've got, and just basically stuff to better display what I'm seeing.
Great. It is past 8 minutes, so we need to move on.
Okay. Yeah,
unfortunately,
that's
these things rolling on.
Good luck.
But if there are any questions, you know who to contact or message in general.
That's it, guys.
Right. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Okay, now we have Crimson Ties.
Blood ties.
Blood Ties. I wasn't looking at the list.
The once Project Crimson is now called Blood Ties.
I like your new Anthony.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we did.
Alright. Hold on. I have it set up. I just don't have the right scene.
And also, Andy has been posting a build for bread and butter participate in that and play my game.
Yeah, if you feel like participating in our demo right after this, then download the link now.
Okay, let me share my screen. Oh wait, share the app. There we go. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Okay.
It is loading.
Oh, you might have to share all of everything, because if you only shared a single window in Unity, we can only see like the mini tabs in each window.
Share the whole thing. Oh, I didn't.
So Discord doesn't cooperate well. It only shares like one window in Unity at a time.
Yeah, you need to share the window, not the app.
Yeah, just share the window. That's what I did.
Does that make sense?
Oh wait, but then you can't hear the sound if I share.
Unfortunately, but like that's something we cannot do anything about that.
Wait, what about this? Never mind.
Maybe. Well, Joshua was just sharing his game window, which seemed to be working. So maybe if you can.
If you can actually I just shared the entire monitor screen because I have 2 monitors. So I just shared my second monitor screen rather than the window itself.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys don't see.
Yeah, you have to share the actual application or monitor, because Unity's gonna go all over the place if you share the application.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, I had a little
We could
nice
try
little
it.
medley for you
We
guys.
could try it, and I'll just let you know what window it's sharing. I think if you have, I think it shares the active window. So if you, like, see when you hover and click on the inspector, it shows the inspector. So if you play and then just click
Don't
on
hover
game
anything.
window,
Yeah.
it might work.
Can you guys see the picture?
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just try it.
Let's just try it.
All right. Well, just let's see how it
Right.
goes.
Cool. So it's working for me.
Is this a scary game?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. So welcome to Blood Ties. This is our team. I'm not sure if you guys can hear my voice over this really loud.
Yeah, we can hear it. It's
Okay.
distinguishable, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, we set out to make a horror mystery point-and-click adventure game. We have a few people. Actually, the team has actually grown since last time with Sam coming on board. But yeah, we're just wrapping it up right now, and this is what we have so far. Our game is pretty dark, so if you guys can just turn up your brightness just a little bit. There are some screens that are pretty dark, and it's kind of hard to tell what we're going to be doing. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. But actually, let me introduce myself. I'm actually from Cogswell, but I was originally from San Jose State. So yeah, I had this idea last semester, like 5 minutes before the presentation, to just like make a game like Clock Tower. So we put a game together last semester, and we're trying to wrap it up in the next few weeks this semester, and have it ready for playtesting. And our lead engineer, Ricardo Lee, set up everything initially with Unity, and then everybody worked on puzzles, UI. Alex worked on the enemy. And yeah, everything's our sole artist Hal is thank God for Hal, because without her we wouldn't have like had any initial artwork at all. And then we decided to go like pretty much full 3D. But enough talk. I wanted to just show you what it looks like as of right now. So the last time you guys saw this, everything was pretty much just sketches, especially for the art, for the background art. We have gone full pre-rendered backgrounds for this. It was a necessity because I barely had any time to work on art, and Hal was did a lot of stuff, and we wanted to just focus, maybe like just do 2D art for the characters. That way, that we can just pour all the effort into making characters look good. And there's like a bunch of backgrounds, and we needed something. We need a way to make the art fast for the backgrounds, because we have just had so many, and I'm more of a 3D artist, so I did not make the 3D art. I just took a lot of assets from the Unreal marketplace that they've been giving out for free, and put it all together in Unreal, and take the pictures in Unreal, and then put the images into Unity. So it worked out really well. We had the old sprite for the main character, and even that worked pretty well with the new artwork. So we're trying to make the character, try to blend in with the 2D and the 3D. But I think it works really well. So this is ending up like kind of like a 2.5D adventure game. So you walk around the house, and there's these puzzles, and you're not sure initially what's going on in this house. The story goes, this is your uncle's house, and you're the niece, and you're here for a visit, and everybody's missing. So you're just exploring the house and figuring out what's going on. You can go to different rooms, and sometimes the rooms are pretty dark. So you'll just have to figure out your way around things. I don't know if you guys can actually see this room clear enough, but there's a light switch here, and you click on it. The light's turned on. You can inspect things now. And you can take items. Other interactable stuff. You can also inspect this bathtub. Oh, and you can also hide in the bathtub. So there are hiding spots now. Not sure why that is. There we go. You can hide in the closet. Let me speed run through this a little bit, because we're on a crunch here. Oh, the door's already open. Okay, well, not sure why that door played, but so yeah, this door is locked, and one of the like a mini puzzles you'll have to use items by dragging it onto the environment. And these items, it'll give you a description of what each of these items are. You click on it. You'll also be able to inspect other things in the background. we did a little bit of playtesting last semester, and we got some really valuable feedback concerning puzzles and like clues. So we did some changes to make it a little bit more doable. Oh, there goes that door.
Bruh, you said this wasn't spoopy.
Spoopy.
That's a spoopy door.
The one time I look away, what?
I didn't even expect that. So yeah, we've noticed how this game might actually be for real cursed.
Yeah, this game is haunted
okay,
for real.
yeah.
Adam, you're at 8 minutes, so you have to start wrapping up.
Okay, all right. Well, I just want to show you this last bit, which actually we're at the end here, which is what Alex set up for the enemy. So once I have this solved. Nope. Nope.
Oh god, that scared me a bit.
So you can actually hide from this enemy, but he will keep chasing you room to room. So I guess I'll hide in his closet.
I swear.
Oh no.
We'll skip over, do a room check.
Too spoopy.
So I'm gonna leave this. And yeah, if I don't find a hiding spot quick enough, then he will.
There's no jump scares, right?
There is. I'm not a fan of jump scares, but I'm not afraid of using jump scares. Right now, I actually don't know where he is, so that seems pretty scary. But yeah, that's what we have so far. Anyway, he can kill you if he catches you. I just don't know where he is. There are some other puzzles that we've been setting up. Unfortunately, we're out of time. But yeah, just just do a quick tease of what we have here. This would be some of the puzzles that will be in the later half of the game.
Yeah, we gotta move on. It's 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
So
that's Blood Ties.
Cool.
Yeah. Message Adam or the team if you want to have if you have any questions. You want to know more how they made it. I'm personally really impressed. That's awesome. All right, we got the last scheduled showcase of bread and butter.
Woo, woo, bread and butter.
All right.
If you guys want to participate in our live playtest, and if you haven't downloaded the build we posted in general and Play My Game, then go ahead and do that now. I'm not sure what the room cap is, but
20.
We'll just make it work. Okay, it's 20. All right. So I'll just give you guys a little bit to a minute or two to download that and open it up. Don't click the join button yet, though. All right. Sorry, we're all very new to this. We just got it working recently.
Is it okay if I press it like 6 times?
It's. Are you gonna screen share?
Yeah, I
wanna
will.
see.
Just give me a second here. You guys gotta make sure it's not malware, right?
We trust you.
All right. Okay. Let me see here. It's booting up. And just the truth. 1 second here. I have like so many tabs open, it'd be like ridiculous fast. All right, is this showing my game? Sorry.
Yes, it is.
It's sick. So just a quick check. How many people downloaded it and are like on the screen right now? Also, it only works for Windows. I'm sorry. Well, I'm so sorry for
Who
this.
is playing?
Excuse
React to my message. Who is playing? Bread.
We have 1 bread. We have 3 bread. We have 5 bread. 6 bread. 7?
We'll find out.
This is,
Will the bread
this is
go
some
up? Can we know?
unprecedented levels here.
Let's get this bread.
All
8
right,
bread.
let's see if it breaks on us.
8 bread.
Are we going through?
Can we get to 9 bread? Come on now.
See if I can join.
Wait up.
How many plays did you say again? 20?
Wait.
We'll see.
I see.
Yeah, I can't connect either. We're running into some technical difficulties. Please,
It is control friendly or it is mouse and keyboard only?
it's
Mouse keyboard.
Hold on.
Do I just click the join button?
No.
1 second.
Oh no. Hold on.
Do not click the join button yet.
Dang. All right, some bad's happening.
It's okay, guys. You have plenty of minutes left in your
I
presentation.
spammed the join button. I'm sorry.
I think there's too many people.
The servers are backed up.
Too many people?
Yeah, can we try that again?
Okay. So I'm gonna try to join.
Wait 1 second, Andy.
Okay.
You like restart the server, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, this is all very new to all of us, so.
No one joined. Just let the developers join.
Yeah.
No,
don't
click the button.
We'll let you know.
Okay, Andy, you can go in.
Okay, I'm gonna join.
Oh no!
Okay,
Yes.
Okay, everyone can start joining.
All right,
Alright.
everybody.
We're in. We're in.
All the bread.
Oh my god! It's so insane to see this.
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
This is the first time I see a game like this.
Angie, don't ready, but everyone else should ready.
Okay, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
What the heck is
Can I jump? Oh, I can jump.
Press the ready button if you have.
Oh, my water fountain is there. You guys left it.
Are you guys able to
Why-
interact with each other, or do you not have collision on
You
other
have
players?
We do.
Do you theoretically jump on each other to get out?
Let's
Alright,
theoretically
so-
not.
Is this unreal?
For
What happens when I fall out? Like,
Yeah,
alright, guys, escape! Before you get hurt.
Escape.
Oh, I'm out! Oh, I fell!
It doesn't matter anyways. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna get
Oh wait, I fell out.
Andy, you
I
said
want to escape too.
Why is everyone falling out?
Press the ready button.
Oh,
Ready button.
Please make sure
There's
you
no way back up.
Everyone, please ready.
The problem is
Please
people
click
don't
the
know
ready
who
button.
they are.
Player 8.
the animation is so
Player-
ridiculous.
Player 3, please.
I'm
Player
player
eight.
3.
Oh, players.
Okay. Player 8 is ready.
Everybody could
How did
just
the
look in the
I
chat.
fell off the screen.
Oh my god, this is so cool.
There's a how to play
I've
infographic.
flown.
Everyone's
Now
getting
let's start the game.
I'm
Wait, wait,
falling down.
Oh
Let's
shoot,
go.
it's starting, right? Oh wait.
The controls
Oh,
are
wait,
in
wait,
chat.
everybody ready? Everybody ready?
Everybody ready?
I think. Wait, is it loading?
No, Andy's still not ready.
I
Oh,
read
player
it.
3 isn't ready.
It reverted everyone as far as I could tell, and then
Yeah.
now they have to. Player 9 is.
What is it?
Okay, we're in.
Oh, God.
Alright, good luck. Good luck.
I'm so not
Oh
sure.
my god.
I mean, we're definitely
Are you in?
screen looking.
Are you high?
So there are some
Yo,
little hiccups,
hi, nice to meet you.
That's in the kitchen.
but
Yeah, I got some trapped.
alright. You can't actually kill anybody right now.
What?
But you can run around.
I think I died already.
You can technically kill someone, but like it just doesn't tell you if you're dead.
Yeah,
You
it
can
just
only
kind of
tell if you're
disables
dead.
your
No,
ability
no,
to.
no, I'm going in
Yeah.
again.
Like you
I'm
won't be able
going-
to transform or do the
I'm going in.
task. Should we
I'm going
explain
in.
what the game is?
How do I try? He find me, help me!
I think they're having too much fun, Ed.
So the game is, if you can't tell, it's a prop hunt game. It's a hide and seek prop hunt, where you play as a chef who's trying to catch all these mischievous like foods, like possessed foods, I guess. The goal of the food or the props is to basically try to make as big of a mess in the restaurant as possible. So you have to do that by interacting with like doing tasks, basically, like Among Us. There are like task nodes around the map, and it's the goal of all the props to collectively do all the like make a mess and do all the tasks. And if they can do that without dying by the time then they win. And obviously, the goal of the seekers or the chefs is to kill off all the tasks. Jeez.
Oh my god.
Okay, but like,
So cool.
I'm confused. How can you even hide if you can only switch into other food items?
I mean,
so obvious.
There seems to be working so far. There are ways.
It's like fake food, right?
I'm seeing a bunch of bread everywhere.
That's crazy, dude.
How did you
That's
test? I don't see any tests.
Aren't the tasks all done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mess meter. Mess meter.
Someone killed me. Oh no. Oh wait. Oh, I think are people able to transform still, or is it over?
No, I can't.
No.
So
I'm
basically,
stuck in the toaster.
that's basically the end.
No way. No way.
Oh, yeah, I can still transform.
Oh,
Do it.
okay.
Oh my god.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah, if you can't transform, that means that you got tagged out. You already died.
Oh.
Yeah, if you can't transform.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, Seeker has killed you.
How many
So
people
now
are in
what?
here right now?
I think
It's about 10, I believe.
Let's
10, I
all
think
group in the restaurant.
How on earth did you get the multiplayer?
I'm wait.
Everybody go outside.
What's the wait? I don't understand. What's the point of transforming?
Everybody go outside.
I think transformations kind of became like secondary to the objective, but it's obviously just like
It's for a flex.
it's in
Yeah, it's just to look cool, dude. Just to get your drip.
You're supposed to camouflage with your environment.
You can only win if you have enough drip. That's what it is.
I don't know if you can tell, the Seekers actually have like a kill cooldown, so they can't just like wildly swing whenever they want.
Where did you guys get outside?
So the point is to kind of just like
I
buy
got
time
stuck.
for yourself sometimes by like hiding in plain sight while Seekers do stuff.
Everybody meet outside for the photo shoot.
Group photo.
What? There's a task outside.
It
I'm
gets me
still stuck in the toaster.
He's getting crushed.
You guys should probably implement
Oh, wait, I
some
jumped off
mounting
the
walls. Yeah, you can jump off.
Ed,
the
why
map.
are we able to jump off the map?
Wait,
Oh no, where?
Where?
Where did you jump off the map?
Wait, just go outside and just look at the edges. There's like a place you can just jump off.
Oh,
Wait, what?
oh, I am off the map. Let's go. Bye.
No, like it's really obvious. Where
Still like a crevice?
Oh,
Oh, true, we didn't.
Oh, no.
I didn't push the walls. I forgot to push that.
Hi. Oh,
This is actually a feature. It's called the I no longer want to play, but
Everyone is gonna fall down.
Life is too interesting. I don't want to die yet.
oh, look, it's like a. Oh, look at that! I'm like a ghost. I can go through walls.
Spectate.
You're a ghost now.
Yeah, dope.
Okay, dope. Yeah, totally intended.
This is how you do spectator mode.
Yeah.
Did everyone fall off?
All of this was made possible by.
Do we want to restart it?
Yeah, we can do restart.
Okay, yeah.
And maybe more people want to join.
It has been 10 minutes, so this is really great. I just want to check. Is there anyone else who wants to present anything? Okay, I'm gonna take that as no. So, yeah, we can keep doing this. I think Edward, if I guess I don't know when we're ending. So.
So yeah, that was basically the end of the showcasing then. Obviously we had more people today than maybe anticipated. We had like 11 groups total. I hope it wasn't too tiring.
Oh, hold
for
on.
any of you guys.
Hold on. If you guys have any feedback from your time playing, your very brief time, we actually have a feedback form now on our official website, and I'm gonna post that in the general. So if you would be so kind to fill that out for us, we really appreciate it. so we can make it even better.
Yes.
I think Kevin had some concerns about the prop transformations. He can voice his concerns. Feedback form.
Oh, and speaking of feedback forms,
yeah.
in addition to OBAB having one, actually, so the club, I would love for you guys to basically give us a little bit of feedback too. Just so that we can kind of like help you guys, help make sure that you guys are feeling confident about the projects that you're committing to right now. So I posted in general chat my own feedback form. This will just basically give you guys an opportunity to individually maybe ask questions or make suggestions or whatever, vocalize your concerns. And us officers will kind of privately read it and we'll like reach out to you if there's maybe something you need help with privately. But besides from that, I hope this has been a productive and fun night for you guys. This is really all we had planned, and obviously we went pretty long, so at this point, I think we can like adjourn this. Although I do see some people in the OBAT thing still.
Yeah, great presentations, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, really impressive.
Great work, everyone.
Right on.
Just gives me like motivation. I'm like, wow. Working with such awesome people.
Oh, and I forgot. I should allude to next week. Yeah, next week we have workshop. We have basically a resume building workshop that I've invited a representative from the Career Center. She's gonna help us. I think her name is Judith Garcia. She's gonna come by, give a little talk about resume building. So if you guys are interested in maybe getting to that, like getting help with like professional outreaching and those steps, then make sure to show up next week. Otherwise, business will proceed as usual. So we'll see. Look forward to that.
Yeah, and if you want to get something on your resume, sign up for the Creative Jam.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, I had to plug that.
Yeah.
I'm being paid to do this.
Career counselor. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So should we do another OBAB round?
Go for it.
Are you guys
That's what you
down?
wish for.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, let's do it, boys. Yeah.
Keep recording. Y'all want me to keep recording or not?
Let me screen share.
We're just chilling here.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
stop
the rest of the
recording.
day is